As many of you know, 3 Israelis have been abducted, and now it's being reported that there are signs that the IDF is about ready to stage a campaign against those who believe took the 3 boys, which would be Hamas. And the title of the article is Netanyahu used boys rescue operation to finally thrash Hamas in Gaza too. The article says signs of an approaching IDF military operation against Hamas abound this week. It's a possible outcome of the massive military coup intelligence effort to rescue 3 Israeli boys Hamas is accused of abducting near Hebron on June 10th. So we might be looking at a military siege and search and rescue operation go up against Gaza. And military and political leaders in Israel have already said if one hair of those 3 kids are harmed, the Hamas leadership would have to pay dearly. Now, does that mean there would be targeted executions again? I sincerely hope that means that's what that means. Frankly, I've always been a proponent of the peace through strength philosophy that really became popular during the Reagan administration. Many would say that he had nothing to do with the fall of the Soviet Union, but I think he had a whole lot more than anyone can even realize. But I think most conservative, fundamentally sound military intelligence sources believe that he had a tremendous amount to do with that. Now on to the Syria-Iraq advancements of the ISIS. Now before I go on with this, you should not be surprised that this is taking place. This is just another long stream of wars and rumors of wars that the Bible has predicted that would take place in the last days. But frankly, this is nothing more than a glorified terrorist group that's being financed very well. I don't suspect that they will overtake Iraq nor Syria, but if they do, they're nothing more than a band of terrorists that will be much like the Gaddafis or the Saddam Hussein type of leaders. Certainly they'll probably come in on a wave of optimism, but the truth of the matter is they're nothing more than bloodthirsty terrorists that will bring about a dictatorship that will be brutal. But this is not going to set the Middle East on fire by any stretch of the imagination. Israel is no more threatened than they've ever been. Or should I say Israel can handle this situation as well as they can any other situation. If a terrorist group could defeat Israel, they would have already done it. There are many out there that have tried for years. Hezbollah, Hamas, and so on and so forth, who have actually better equipment than these rebels do. But the bottom line is that these rebels at the time have the advantage of chaos and fear on their side. So that's really what's fueling their advance toward Baghdad. But one thing is for sure, it's going to rewrite the borders of both Iraq and Syria. But I don't expect the Assad regime to fall, nor do I expect Baghdad to be taken anytime soon either. I think the United States is going to step in that situation, if nothing more than just to save face. And there are reports coming in right now that the United States is right now sitting down with Iran in order to help them to save face. They're direct talks. And no doubt this is going to help Iran when they finally do make their final nuclear deal. I have a feeling that it's going to be watered down in exchange for help from the Iranian regime to try to put down this rebellion. Now on to Ukraine and Russia. As I've said in the past, I don't see this as being anything more than just a defiant act against the West. Russia, through its proxies and, in some instances, through their own troops, are adding just enough fire to this situation to keep it boiling, just to let the other Baltic nations and other nations such as Poland or Romania know that, hey, the West is way across the Atlantic Ocean, but we Russians are practically neighbors. Trusting in the West for your protection is not a very good idea. And that's the message that they're trying to send all of their neighbors and former Soviet states who would dare to have relations with NATO. Now, of the 3, are there any prophetic implications? I would say that there's no prophetic implications directly. Of course, the indirect implications would be that this would be a sign of wars and rumors of wars. And of course, I've said in the past that Russia's revolt and stand against the West is in fact a test to see how the West will respond when they invade nations. And I think one day the same thing is going to take place when they invade Israel. Russia will at some point say, hey, listen, we're going to attack Russia. We're bringing these nations with us, one of which will be an ally of the United States, I believe at the time, will be Iran and Turkey, I should say. So it'd be two allies of the West. And they will come down upon Israel to take a spoil. And it's likely that Turkey will also be involved in taking that spoil because not only they do hate Israel, but they are right now in a battle with Cyprus and also with Israel indirectly over the resources of the Leviathan, which was massive. So off the eastern coast of, or I should say western coast of Israel and Lebanon, there is a massive amount of natural gas and oil that also lies in between Cyprus and these countries. And Turkey believes that they have a territorial right to these massive discoveries. So put them down for them coming down to take a spoil as well. But these are just more signs that the Lord is coming at any moment, and this world will explode. Now, the Middle East isn't about ready to explode yet, but it's coming. This is setting the stage. And I just want to encourage you to get a copy of my Tribulation Period Survival Guide. It is free if you just get it online, but if you buy it, if you want the paperback version, which is a professionally bound copy from my publisher, it's cheaper than taking the free version, taking it down to a print shop and getting it printed out. Go to my website. This book is not for Christians. It's mainly for people who are left behind. So you need to get a copy of this book, put it on your coffee table so that whoever comes in after you, relatives or whoever, will see this book and know what the future holds for them. And I've been giving him out to various people as a witnessing tool, people who I've been praying for and have had no success with, but they do know that now there's a book like this out there, and when the rapture does take place, that will be the first book they will go to. I would encourage you to make that same investment. And as always, if you don't know the Lord today, you need to make that decision as quickly as possible. You may not make it to the rapture. You may not make it to the tribulation period. You may die today. 150,000 people die every single day. The vast majority of them, the Bible says, will end up in a burning hell. Don't wait one day too late and end up in that horrible place. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.